Welcome back to this membership success training where I, Evelyn Weiss, celebrated I have over 4,000 paying monthly members and over $90,000 in monthly recurring revenue by answering your questions. So the question that I will answer in this video is a few questions. So a lovely member asked all of these. How do you keep track of all the moving parts? How do you decide what the next move needs to be? How do you stay out of overwhelm? What do you believe about yourself and the world when you decide what your next move is? So I love all of these questions, and I will answer them soon. Before that, I'll just quickly jump in and I show you my Stripe dashboard, the growth journey of going to 4,000 members and $90,000 in monthly recurring revenue, and also what the last 3 months looked like and what this month looked like so far, so that you know that this is all legit and not some random screenshot, because I always encourage you to never believe any income claims online if you have not video proof. Okay, so with that being said, how do I keep track of all the moving parts? So first things first, I think I do a good job at managing myself. So I work every single day before I jump into things. Let me actually share this with you. So in the Coach Growth Hub, we have this growth journal. And this is literally what I do. So you can use this for yourself as a Coach Growth Hub member, or you can also resell it and use with your clients. Basically, the reminder of busy versus productive, and then understanding and setting your monthly focus. So I like to do this for myself. I like to set myself a focus for the month. And here I just go through defining my goals. So starting with the big picture, setting realistic goals, getting more specific, visualize achieving the goal. And then I make a list of milestones and daily tasks. So this is basically a monthly brain dump, and I'll spend quite a bit of time with that. And I'll sit down and I really take the time to write it down, and I really take the time to work my thoughts. So I will typically write it down. I go to the gym, I keep thinking about it, I keep revisiting it until I feel like I have a clear picture of what is needed right now. And the more you do this, the more you train that muscle within yourself that has a real good connection with your intuition. So the more you get in the habit of doing that, the easier it will actually come to you. After I have a clear understanding for my monthly focus, I stick to my daily money making tasks. This is what I've been doing since the beginning. Every day I get clarity. Every day I support my clients so that I can get recommendations, so that I can tell stories, so that I can share social proof, and so that I can improve my materials and my content for them and talk about it. So I do this every single day. Every single day I grow my audience and email list. So this is something that I've automated using my ads. And every single day I try to give value outside of my paid communities as well. And I like to make an offer, which typically just means that I mention my offer. I talk about them. I'm not giving hard call to actions to call now, but I'm being vocal about my offers, right? And I would start every single day brain dumping what needs to be done in my brain. And then I actually categorize, okay, is it really important and urgent? Then I need to get it done on that day. And important means, is it really in alignment with my monthly focus that is in alignment with my overall vision? Is it important but not urgent? I schedule to get it done. Is it not important but urgent? I delegate to get it done. And is it not important and not urgent? I consciously decide to not spend any time with it at all. A huge part of getting things done is not doing things that don't move the needle, if that makes sense. So eventually you'll get better at doing this. So this is the first step, is managing yourself, having a monthly focus. So that's directed forward. What do we do? That's the hypothesis. So the hypothesis is, this would be the best thing for me to achieve. in alignment with my overall vision. This is what I can get done today to work towards that. Then I'll measure my success only in, did I do what I thought will move the needle? Did I stick with it? Did I stick with it? And then on a monthly basis, when I look at my numbers, I reevaluate. And actually, that's not true. I actually also evaluate on a weekly basis, which is my funnel. So every week, I look into every single campaign that I have running. Per offer, I run one campaign. So the campaign that goes directly to my mini membership is a campaign. The campaign that advertises my 50K roadmap is a campaign. The campaign that advertises the growth journal is a campaign. The campaign that retargets and advertises the coaching mini membership method is a campaign. So every single campaign and funnel, on a weekly basis, I evaluate the performance and I look into what adjustments do I need to make to the funnel. And then on a monthly basis, I have a holistic inventory of, did I move closer to what I think, what is needed right now? And the evaluation sets the base for refocusing on the next month's base. And this is something that, this is from a coaching mini membership method member. This is something that you can do for yourself. And then you can come and you can say, this is my conclusion based on, what do you think? So you can double check with me if that is aligned, and if I also think that this will move the needle most. But this is this clarity work that you need to do for yourself. And now it's a little bit of a tangent, but in the Coach Growth Hub, you know how we do this 50 touch point challenge to put out your content and to get better at that. And those exercises, this daily writing of a post, of a content, that also pays into that muscle that you're sharpening there. I think that a lot of coaches don't spend enough time introspecting, don't spend enough time sitting with their own thoughts and working things through for themselves, like journaling them through, thinking them through. And this is where this fogginess is coming from. I and the best coach in the world cannot tell you what to do. We can tell you what we would do in your shoes, right? But that might not be the best move for you right now, which is why you really need to get into the habit of doing this internal work very deliberately. And that is how I personally keep track of all the moving parts. And it's a soft approach, but it really works phenomenal for me. And the more you do it, the more intuitive you become. The more intuitive you become, the speedier you become. And speed is a huge advantage. I said this to one of my students the other day. It's not the big fish that eat the small fish, it's the fast fish that eat the slow fish. So the more you can train that muscle, the speedier you become, making decisions and seeing the opportunity and knowing what to lean into with your time. But it's a muscle you need to train, and nobody can help you. It's like I can be your trainer and I can go to the gym with you and I can tell you, you lift this now, but you have to do the lifting because it's your mental muscle that needs to develop. And that's okay if that takes time, right? For me, it took a year and then some more. And now it compounds into being really, really strong in that area. How do you decide what the next move needs to be? Exactly like that. Typically, I have core moves, if that makes sense. So typically, I'll assess what is the theme in my communities right now, what is needed most. I'll check in with a validation post if people want training around that. Based on the intensity of the response, I can see how in demand the thing is. If it's not in demand, I drop it. I only spend time on things that will actually move the needle for myself and for my members. If it has high engagement, I lean fully into it, and then I deliver it for my members and I repurpose it as a front end product. So that's the kind of monthly schedule that works extremely well for me. And the other thing is leaning into the organic content creation more. That is also something that happens right now. So one is the funnel part, one is the organic content part, and all of this flows beautifully together because you can create the content for your members based on what's needed. You can document it, plus your own journey around it on your socials, and you can repurpose the final product in your funnels. Your funnels will benefit from your organic content, your organic content will benefit from your funnels, and your members will benefit from the content itself, right? So it becomes this flywheel of paying into each other. How do you stay out of overwhelm? I feel overwhelmed so often. I think it's so okay. So how does a muscle grow? I love gym analogies because I see just so many parallels with business. A muscle grows the most if you train it to failure or close to failure. I believe that our brain is a mental muscle and we will grow the fastest if we train it close to failure. I don't think that it's a bad thing to be overwhelmed. I don't think it's a bad thing to be overwhelmed. I think it's a question of how you manage overwhelm. So, and you know how what you do with it, how you work it. So, overwhelm is nothing but a signal that there is high demand and and not a lot of clarity. High demand, not a lot of clarity. That's overwhelm. So what do? Okay, there's high demand. Okay, there's not a lot of clarity. I need to do my clarity work, right? I feel overwhelmed. It's nothing but a signal telling me I need to go into clarity work. That's all. So, and also if I feel like I have a million tasks, I so often wake up and I'm like, I have a million questions and I have a million things to do. I write it down. Is it a million? No, it's 25. Okay, how long do these actually take? Sometimes I procrastinate on responding to a message because I'm actually not sure how to set the boundary with the person and I push it back for 3 days and that creates overwhelm versus if I would have made the decision to respond to it, I would have my mental capacity back, right? So I think it's overwhelm in itself is not a problem. The thing is how we deal with overwhelm. Typically, it's clarity work, writing things down and getting uncomfortable things done as quickly as possible so that they don't keep eating away from your mental capacity anymore. What do you believe about yourself and the world when you decide what your next move is? That's a really good one. I believe that the world is a place full of mostly beautiful and genuine souls that have problems that I am able to solve if I put my mind to it. And when I'm deciding on my next move, I'm looking for the biggest for the solve worthiest problem around me that I think I'm able to solve, and I look for the very best solution I can come up with. I think that's what I'm looking for. Thank you for making me thinking about this. This was very helpful for me too. Yeah, I believe that problem solving, taking off creative burden, and thinking for people is how I can generate the most value for people. Plus, I always also think of what would be the most inspirational thing I can do. So I also grew into seeing myself somewhat as a role model, although I don't like when people pedestal me because I have a gazillion flaws. I have so many of them. But I feel like I am being watched and I want to hold myself accountable to show up as possible and as worthy as I can to hold such a beautiful community. So I think that's the other part, is like the inspirational part. I want to be worthy of my amazing community. And the other thing is the problem solver part. I want to solve my community's problems one after the other on a daily basis. All right, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much. I see you in the next one.